Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So, back to winning ways. We are back to winning ways after two rather frustrating matches against Forest and Liverpool. We're finally back to winning again, and what an amazing way to do it! Another huge scoreline where we scored some great goals. Weren't great at defending again, but that really is a theme with this team, whether it's the team that plays in the Prem or the team that plays in the Conference League. So obviously these are my thoughts on our 4-1 victory against Panathinaikos, who, I mean, if we're being honest, they probably impressed a lot of people. I mean, they were a lot better than I thought they were going to be. They were a lot more aggressive than I thought they were going to be. They were a lot more daring. They took a lot more risks. They really went for it, despite the fact that they clearly didn't play their first team, which was something I was shocked about. I think a lot of their starters started on the bench tonight. They clearly went into this game not really thinking that they stood a chance, which is crazy, really, especially considering they almost scored in the first few minutes. So anyway, these are my thoughts. Obviously, we'll start with the lineup. It was obviously Jorgensen in goal, the Sassy on the right, Badiashile and Vega as our centre backs, and Cucurella, who obviously missed the match against Liverpool, getting some minutes again, who started on the left. Obviously, we had Enzo in the midfield this time. Obviously, again, he was rested for most of the match against Liverpool, so he came back for this match. Dewsbury Hall, and we had Neto and Mudryk just in front with Nkunku and Felix. And I, I mean, again, I went into this match like I think I will do with most of these Conference League matches, just feeling that we're going to have too much for them. And it really felt that we did just have too much for them in the end. So anyway, as we go into the first half, and I mean, they almost scored immediately. They almost scored in the first 2 minutes of the match. It was shocking defending, really. A ball just gets lofted into the box. No one picks up their man. No one's really paying attention. Clearly, it's the first 2 minutes. I guess players aren't really with it. They have a great header, a player who heads it down into the box. Jorgensen makes an outstanding save. Really just strong hand just to clear it away. So he really was called into action immediately. And the first, I'd say, 10 minutes or so, it really you could feel that the crowd were really helping them. I mean, Panathinaikos' fans were so loud up until we scored. In fact, they were so much louder than Chelsea. Obviously, I mean, you expect that being the home team, but they were just non-stop, and you could see it was driving their players forward. They were finding space. They were kind of getting behind. They just weren't really doing the finishing touches. And then around the 20th, 21st minute, Dewsbury Hall just lost the ball. It's just like Felix and Mudryk and I think and Cuckoo and Neto up front. And he lost the ball. Then Felix has a lovely little deft just touch with his head just to knock the ball behind him. You then have Mudryk who essentially just ran onto it, took a player on, crossed the ball in the box, and Felix was just there just to mop it up. And it was a really good goal. I mean, it all started from the midfield. It all started from a counter attack, really. And then after we scored the first goal, I mean, you kind of felt that it was sort of not. I don't want to say over, but you kind of just felt that that had taken everything out of just out of all their players, because the crowd all of a sudden went a lot quieter. Chelsea fans were singing louder and louder and louder. We began to completely control the match. I mean, Enzo, for one thing, played an amazing match. He All of a sudden he was beginning to dictate the tempo, control it, pick out some outstanding passes. And there was one moment, which was just a few minutes after we scored, where Enzo almost scored a phenomenal goal. Obviously, the ball I think is from Mudryk, who just plays it across the goal. Enzo then runs onto it, has a great shot, and it was an outstanding save from their goalkeeper. But I mean, Enzo in this match really did impress me, and I'm hoping that we see more of this level that he produced. And again, Mudryk was absolutely superb. But anyway, so we go into halftime 1-0 up, and you do kind of feel like we've won this. Well, you kind of feel that we're going to score another one or two goals, and you kind of felt that they had to score the first goal, and we were always going to find a way. So we go into halftime at 1-0. So we come out for the second half, and I mean, you couldn't really have asked for a better start. I mean, within the first few minutes, within the first few minutes of it, Neto has the ball. He's running past a couple of players. He does a 1-2 with lovely 1-2 with Drewsbury Hall, and he does one of the best crosses you're going to see. Just a little toe point cross, just goes all over all their players, and it lands perfectly, just perfect. Lands perfectly for Mudryk just to get a little touch on it and just guide it in. And it's just I mean, Neto again is another player who might not have impressed me as much, but I did enjoy seeing him take players on, which is something he's really good at. But I was I was really happy that Mudryk got that goal. I can't remember the last goal Mudryk actually scored for us, but again it was outstanding. And Neto 1-2 with Drewsbury Hall, lovely little cheeky chip kind of cross, all over Felix, all over all their players, both their players in the box, and a great header by Mudryk to make us 2-0 up. And at that point we've won, because again, you just feel we're going to score more with this team. This team is not a second team. This team is not a second string team. This team is by far the best team in the competition. And I really do feel we should be winning the Conference League. And then it just kept getting better and better and better throughout this match. Now, after we scored the second goal, we just didn't stop. We just carried on going, carried on pushing, continued found more space. Neto again was just taking players on. Mudryk was playing outstandingly. Neto again tries to do a lovely little cross into the box. It's headed away by one of the players. Mudryk then gets it under control and he spots Felix on the edge of the box, passes it to him, and it was a huge slice of luck. Felix obviously has a shot, massive deflection, and it goes in. The keeper has no chance. But I mean, what I'm enjoying, obviously the goals are great, but one thing that I'm really enjoying seeing, especially with Mudryk, and it's not just this match. I saw it against Nottingham Forest as well. He's got his head up a lot more. I think there's clearly been a lot of work done between him and Maresca, that he's now constantly, when he has the ball, instead of doing what he used to do, which was run with his head down where he couldn't really see where his teammates were, he's now, every movement he's doing, he's got his head up at least around the time he gets the ball, just so he knows where everyone is. Because I feel Mudryk of maybe a year ago would try and turn and shoot at the position, but instead he saw Felix was in a much better position, passes it to him, massive slice of fortune, but you take them, and Felix was also on a hat trick. I would have loved him to have got on a hat trick. Gutted he didn't. But again, I mean, like we would just, and I think Panathinaikos are maybe one of our most difficult teams to play in this league. Whether that's true or not, we'll have to find out. But I mean, and then the last goal we scored was a penalty. And again, and this was Nkunku stepping up again. He's scoring like all of these matches he's starting in. I did feel bad for Nkunku because before he could even take the penalty, the amount of lasers that have been shone in his eye, which was ridiculous from the fans. They're doing everything they could to put him off, but like shining lasers in someone's eyes, it's way too far. It didn't stop him. Took it, outstanding penalty. 4-0 up, and at that point, you're done and dusted. And what I love to see then, and which I'm really happy that Maresca's doing, I don't think Poch did this enough, mainly because I guess we weren't really 4-0 up in many matches. But he brought kids on. He brought Tyreek George on. He put him on the right, took Neto off, rested him. Maybe he starts this weekend. I don't know. But Tyreek George was a player I really enjoyed seeing. I loved to hear he was fearless. He clearly wanted a goal. He just took players on, did everything he could to try and kind of get the opportunity to shoot. He actually forced their goalkeeper to make a brilliant save at one point. Again, I would have loved him to get a goal, but I'm happy he's been given a proper chance. And this is a type of competition which you'd feel that we should be winning quite comfortably against most of these teams. So you feel a lot of these youngsters should be getting opportunities. And it was 4-0 up, and it was looking like it was going to be the most perfect result possible. And then just we just can't keep clean sheets. I mean, we score so many goals. We obviously last European match we won 4-2 against Ghent. Both their goals were just defensive errors. This one was just poor. It was really poor. So it was looking, like I said, it was looking like It was going to be a perfect result. 4-0 up. Everything's gone well. We survived the first 10 minutes, which were difficult. Um, we weren't really tested defensively that much, which was good to see. And then around the 70th minute, it was really frustrating that we just I really wanted a clean sheet. I really wanted a clean sheet. The only clean sheet we've had this season was against Bournemouth, and ironically enough, I'm not sure how we kept one in that match. We should probably have conceded about 3 or 4 goals had it not been for Sanchez having probably his best match. But yeah, they're on the attack. They play it to their right hand side. We have a back four, so all 4 of our defenders are back. Their player slides the ball across the goal, and their goal scorer just appears behind one of our defenders, between 2 of our defenders, just to have a tap in. Um, One day we're going to keep another clean sheet. It's frustrating. It's really frustrating. It was a poor goal to concede right at the end. And then they began to create a little 1 or 2 opportunities, but again, never really. I mean, we were 4-up, so the game was done. But defensively, I'm still worried. I'm still very nervous defensively. Like attacking wise, I feel we can beat. I'd say every team is attacking wise. We should be able to beat every team in this competition. Just defensively, we need to start keeping clean sheets on a regular basis. But anyway, it was an amazing match. Really happy about that. Mudryk, like I said, has seriously impressed me. There's clearly been a lot of work that him and Maresca have done. Neto played well. Felix over the moon that he scored 2 goals. Gutted he didn't get his hat trick. Enzo impressed me as well. I love seeing Tyreek George play. Defensively, still not great. But anyway, we move on. We're top of the league. A few more matches to go. We should win this quite comfortably. Our next game is against Newcastle at Stamford Bridge, so it's a home match. That's going to be interesting. That is going to be very interesting. Newcastle, they're a very good team, and they are also one of the teams who are competing with us for that top 4 spot. As obviously, we're not in the title race. Never have been this season. We're never going to be. Our aim is 4th. And to get 4th, we need to finish above Newcastle, Villa, Tottenham, and United, who I still just about include in that conversation. And we've got a few of them over the next few weeks. First stop, Stamford. We're playing at Stamford Bridge at least, but we should beat Newcastle. We really should. Anyway, guys, if you enjoyed this, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you Sunday when we have hopefully won that 6-pointer against the Geordies.